So, how are things in the shelter?
Lonely. Things are lonely in the shelter. Actually taking this opportunity to get some things done around the house on the weekends so that I can not think about working. So busy working away, kitchen, trying to finish that kitchen. So the ongoing forever project. Because we were going to do the yards, but then this happened, and so now we're just not doing the yards at the moment. So it's like, okay, well, let's do these other things and get them done on the inside where we are stuck. So, yeah.
So are you guys leaving the house at all?
No,
or
not really. We do walks at lunchtime, and a surprising number of people outside, I have to say. I mean, it's good to see neighbors. You don't normally see neighbors. I mean, I guess I'm not at home normally at lunchtime anyway. So, but my wife's commenting, you never see this many people. So there's definitely people just getting out and going for walks, which is cool.
Well, the question though is should you be seeing that many people outside?
As long as they're staying apart,
and
I don't see an issue with
be?
it. Yeah, it's not like the air is infected with the virus. So yeah, I'm not worried about that. It's funny because I just went out to get coffee because my stove is completely covered in plastic, so I can't even heat up water right now. And I was surprised how many people are in their cars wearing masks. Their own cars.
Cabin air filter.
Yeah.
Probably.
You're probably going to be.
So I just replaced it in my Saturn, which I am retiring, with my new truck, the Traverse. Which is
new development.
Oh yeah.
I haven't heard about that.
So every 2 years you've got to go through emissions inspection and everything else.
Yeah.
And this truck is long in the tooth. It is well over 200, just around 200,000 miles. Now, normally that's not that big of a deal and the engine itself is actually strong. But this was the first model year of this particular body style that they had never made. Brand new body style, brand new everything. And it was that particular year, which was 2008, was just plagued with so many problems. And I've kept it going a pretty long time, battling through all sorts of different issues. And
you're talking about the Saturn right now, right? Not the new car?
Yeah. No, okay. Not the new car.
Okay.
Good. The Saturn. And so I had just recently replaced a few things in it. Like I just replaced the cabin air filter and a few other things.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I just replaced the tires on it, and I can't swap them over to the new vehicle because it's got much bigger tires.
Yeah. Don't you hate spending money on tires? I do. I hate it.
Yes. I was walking out, and I was like, oh, yeah, I just remembered I've got my emissions test. And they're like, are you really going to try to see if that thing will pass emissions? I'm like, I know it won't because I need new catalytic converters, and I just discovered a hole in my radiator. And they're like, well, how much is that going to cost you? I was like, to replace the whole thing, $3,600.
Oh, man.
And they're like, okay, if you replace that, is it good? And I'm like, well, no. I mean, you've heard it. It has a whine in it because it needs a new power steering pump. But you trace that all the way down, and they said that I've got to replace an entire rack and pinion. And I'm like, well, they're like, well, how much is that going to cost? I'm like, well, that's $2,600. Power steering pump, full amount. Now this is dealer price.
Yeah.
For most of these, $1,800. So like, okay, add all of those up. How much can you get if you were to trade the vehicle in? Well, I tried, and I can tell you exactly how much I can get for the attempt of trading it in. $0.
Oh, ouch.
They did not offer me a dime. They're like, sorry, sir. We really can't offer. And then they actually said, I've been authorized to offer you $100 for it.
I've been authorized.
You know what? You have offended me.
You insult me. Jeez.
So I was like,
offensive.
No, I'm going to go ahead and just hold on to it. And so, my sons have been taking a walk around the neighborhood and just trying to stretch their legs and kind of get out of the house, which I completely feel for them and understand. He used to be in college or in high school, and one son's always working out every day for football and rugby and stuff, so they're all pretty active.
Yeah.
So they're out there doing their thing, they're walking around and stuff. And the other day I walk outside the house, and there's like this old rickety desk chair falling apart. Where did this desk chair come from?
Where did this trash come from?
Literally, where did this garbage come from? And they're like, oh, somebody was throwing it out. I'm like, so now we have to throw it out?
Dude, that's what my grandfather was like well known for. Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
like, so what?
You need to sit them down right now and watch that Hoarders show with them. Be like, kids, you can't turn out like this.
I totally agree, because I mean, I was like, we watch American Pickers enough to know that we could end up like that if you guys keep picking garbage from other people. They're like, well, what? And so the other day, my wife and I were out for a walk. Exactly. Like, there's a reason why somebody else was throwing it out.
Right. That's hilarious, man.
And so we were out for a walk the other day, and my wife's like, thank goodness Aiden's not here with us. I'm like, why? She goes, look, somebody's throwing a TV out.
Oh, man. The cool thing about stuff like that is that you can actually take it apart, and like there's really cool stuff inside. You should tell them that.
No, thank you. I have a hard enough time trying to get him to clean up the basement as it is.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's so funny. You're like, Hoarders starts now. How old is he? 17? 16?
No, the one that brought it home?
Yeah.
He's 19.
Oh, Aiden
Even
did.
worse.
Okay.
Aiden did.
Oh, man. Well, maybe you can teach him to
Yes.
like refinish old antique furniture and rebuild it and sell it for lots of money. I'm sure it was that kind of chair, right?
Yeah, exactly. See, the only thing antique about that particular chair was the ass that was sitting in it.
Welcome to Archispeak, the podcast that talks about what it's like to work in the profession of architecture.
So how is your week? What week is this? 3?
Is it
4,
time?
3?
Is it time for some quality quarantine content here? I
Yes.
think it is.
Yeah.
That's what this podcast is going to be about for a while, I think.
Yes, exactly.
Oh man, I kind of feel like it wasn't that much different from the last time we talked. It was very online meeting intensive, like very, very much so. I mean, would you agree with that assessment?
It is amazing how much more conversing that I do with people that I mean, maybe it's because I see them all the time in the office or out on the job site or over different meetings and things like that. Maybe they either don't want me to forget that they're around or that they're equally as lonely,
Mm-hmm.
which, by the way, I'm not really lonely.
Yeah.
I've got a herd of people to keep me perfectly busy.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's just, I seem to be, and I think I said this before, just seem to be busier now than I was when I was in the actual office.
Yeah.
I spend more time on Zoom or Skype or Teams than I have ever spent before.
You were talking
now,
up Zoom last time, and I sent you a link, at least one link, but there's been a bunch of links recently about Zoom and all their craziness.
So now there's Zoom bombing.
Yep.
And
they're sending they're somehow sending some meetings through China, and there's other places where people could put link. Yeah, is that what you're talking about, where they can like paste a link into the chat, and if you click on it, it installs malware in your computer and stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, so we are still using it, and we've actually run a couple of their security updates as well as our own internal security updates. And now we have a mandate that if we are sending a Skype meeting out around to everybody else, that it has to be password encrypted.
Yeah, totally. Same.
And so all of these are ways to get around, or at least to protect yourself.
Yeah.
For now, until they figure out how to get around that. But it's now come to this.
It looks like that the Zoom company is pretty actively pursuing fixing all this stuff. But I know that our IT director sent out an email saying, obviously we don't use Zoom. We talked about that on the last episode. But if anybody needs to participate in a Zoom meeting, to let them know first. And then basically they get sent like a checklist of things to look out for. Yeah, this is the world that we live in. It's interesting where everybody's looking for the slight vulnerability so that they can get into your server or install something on your computer and get something out of it.
I will say that one thing that I found really interesting is just the effort that people are going to just basically disrupt other people's businesses.
Yeah.
I mean, is that really your business, is to mess with other people? It's
not that different than the
ridiculous.
People lining up at Costco and buying 2 pallets of toilet paper, I have to say. It's kind of the same thing.
Funny enough you say that. So what's interesting is our local grocery store is finally getting a few more supplies. I mean, I won't say that it's back to 100% stock, but I kept going in, day after day after day, and I'm like, where are all the toilet paper? And most of the time, no toilet paper, no paper towels, no napkins, nothing made from paper of any kind was to be found for at least the first, week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And now you go in and they have not restocked the shelves, but they do have it in there.
You just have to ask for it, huh?
You have to ask for it, and they'll only give you one. Basically, it's like I think all they've ordered are like 8 rolls. And
you're like, dude,
and so
have you seen the size of my children?
Well, I mean, you get an 8-pack. Sorry, it's the 8-pack that you get, and so you can, but you ask for one 8-pack. You can only ask for one 2-pack of paper towels, and that's all you get.
Wow.
Which, I mean,
that'll last you for a while.
That's fine. I mean, the thing is, I was like walking out of the grocery store, I just said to myself, I'm like, so that's where we've resorted to, is we are rationing toilet paper now.
Yeah.
I mean, World War II had a global crisis, and they were, rationing everything. We have a global crisis, but because of just, sheer panic, we have to ration toilet paper.
Yeah, crazy.
You can find plant-based burgers all you want to.
Right.
With toilet paper.
Oh, man.
Still kills me that there wasn't a stitch of meat to be found for the first 2 weeks of all of this.
You're right.
Except for plant-based meat.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's luckily for us, we eat gluten-free pasta. There was a lot of it. Nobody wanted that. Oh, man. There was a lot of health foods and stuff that we buy, and they were pretty much all there. Everybody went for the normal stuff.
The junk.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So we've this last couple of weeks has actually been, well, I should say the last week has been pretty crazy, because I've been basically organizing via a Microsoft team 6 different 3D printers and people throughout our offices to print the PPE face shield headbands so that we can provide those to the healthcare workers. So that's been quite a fielding of, logistics and just schedules and availability and materials and all those kinds of things. There's just, when you've got 6 different printers and 6 different locations and different people stepping up to do it, and you got to get the files out and the instructions out, and then you got to get all of the there's like the foam and the elastic, and there's the acetate thing, and it's like, where do you get all this stuff? Because everybody's sold out. So it's been quite a thing. But I think what we're shooting for is to print about 500 of them. So then we're about halfway there.
So yeah, we have, I believe, 3 printers between the DC and Baltimore office, and they've been going pretty much nonstop through the amount of supplies that we have for printing them. A friend of mine who runs the shop, he said that they are getting new supplies in soon for us to kind of resume them.
Cool.
And actually what's interesting is I got a email from our client who is Hopkins Hospital, and they basically gave us kind of a how-to for cloth face masks.
Okay.
So these are non-medical grade face masks, but they gave us basically some instructions on how to make them, and they are going to be usable for pretty much patients, doctors, everybody else. There's, they would be used in conjunction with, like, say, the face shield as, a way if you follow all of the instructions on how to make it. And I know that I have a couple of friends and family members that work in hospitals, and they are basically reaching out to anybody who knows how to sew to be able to do that. And so I'll actually make the link available in the show notes for the cloth, well, let's just call it the hospital approved cloth ones, as deemed whatever by Johns Hopkins Hospital.
Yeah, it's like hospital approved, non-certified, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean they stress in there that they're not medical grade.
Yeah,
but they're actually used in conjunction with, like, face masks and things like that. And so but they also give you, like, straight rules. And they were mostly for most of the medical grade stuff should be going to the medical professionals. They were like, these are perfect ones that you can reuse. Tell you how to actually wash them, how to take care of them, how to maintain them, how to wear them properly, which is a big thing because I actually just finished reading all of the instructions on how to wear it properly. And then my wife comes walking in, had a mask on, and was wearing it improperly. And I was like, oh, let you read something. I believe my little crafty 12-year-old will be starting to pull together clothes and stuff that we don't use that are what Hopkins says is the different types of clothes. And basically they say 100% cotton. And then they show you how to fold it and the different layering and all of this other stuff. They actually prefer you to use things that aren't white or blue so that they actually are identifiable as non-medical.
Right. That's cool, man.
So we'll shoot that off in the show notes so that everybody who is interested in listening can make their own cloth masks.
Yeah, we basically put together, I started this kind of weekly video show on YouTube called Quarantech, and it's the technology stuff that HMC is doing behind the scenes and in front of the scenes and all the scenes. But the latest episode number 2 was about the 3D printing that we're doing. And it's pretty cool to see this kind of community come together to en masse produce as many of these things as possible because there's such a shortage. So it's unfortunate that there's such a shortage, but it's really incredible to see everybody kind of pull together. There's several different designs out there. We picked one, we ran with it. We're sourcing all the materials for it so we can produce fully functional face shields. They're basically like sneeze guards. They're like this full face wraparound plastic shield that is secured by a headband. And it's really cool to kind of see how it went together behind the scenes at our firm. But, everybody's that's doing the same thing is kind of doing the exact same process. So the reason that we put this video together was just to show people how it worked at our firm and how you could get involved with it. So that was the ultimate goal, is just to get as many of these produced as possible. So if we all, can produce, 12 a day on a 3D printer, that is better than 0. So
exactly,
that's the goal.
It is really encouraging to see, the architecture community stepping up, because we have these printers at our disposal. Most firms, medium to large size firms, they have these 3D printers for their own use. And since they're not using them now, what better way than to pull together and support your community? And the good thing is that, most everybody, lives in a community with, a hospital who most certainly is suffering from shortage. So you can basically find out what the donation protocol is for that particular hospital, and, talk to them about, arranging ahead of time.
Right.
We're obviously donating to our local hospitals, and, one of our longest standing clients is, Johns Hopkins Hospital, and, work very closely with them. And so we're, doing a lot of our donations to both them and other local hospitals around the area to, give as many as we can to as many people as that needs them.
Yeah, I think we're
and
printing.
What's also great. Yeah,
sorry, go ahead. Finish up.
I was just to say, what's great is just like the architectural community around, the Baltimore and DC area. They're all doing that, which is really kind of encouraging to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, the cool thing for us is that we get to serve the community that we practice in, right? And that really that's part of our mission statement, is to serve the community. And we do that through the architecture that we build ultimately with our clients to serve, whether that's healthcare or schools or whatever. Most of our stuff is public work, but ultimately just to like hand over a gift like this, where they need them so bad. There's such a huge shortage that it's just an amazing opportunity to serve them. So they need it so much. They're the heroes right now, and they absolutely need this stuff. So anytime you can get involved and do something like this, take advantage of it. It's really cool to see, like, the School of USC has come together, and they've got over 100, maybe 200 different sites 3D printing these actual face masks that fit over the nose and mouth. It's incredible to see they're organizing it online, Google Sheets, who's producing it, where, how many, how are they handling all the logistics and everything. They basically got started on Instagram, and they went into Google Sheets and filled these things out, and you can just publicly available. You just scroll through the sheet and see who's involved in the process. It's amazing. Super cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's I hadn't even thought of this until I saw it on Instagram, but the same respirators that you'd use for, like, painting something or something like that, those are definitely, of medical grade and can actually be used, by medical professionals. Yeah. And I've seen people printing some pretty amazing, pretty elaborate stuff to put together. And I've even, seen, of course, leave it up to the artist community to, of course, take their swing on it. It's all still completely functional, but then they're making artwork out of it.
That's so cool.
For these guys too. So it's kind of tremendous to see some of these things.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what else have you guys been up to besides, like, printing personal protection equipment for the healthcare industry? Who would have thought a year ago that would be something that we said on the show?
Exactly. When we talked about PPE, it's usually us talking about our own protection and, the own gear that we use on job sites when we're walking around.
Right.
And come to think, exactly, who'd have thunk that we would have, gotten to this position.
Yeah.
It's, kind of a surreal world. Well, the interesting thing is that everything was kind of really kind of trial and error and tough for a lot of people early on. And I'm sure you probably faced all of the challenges of not only setting up, an entire 400 plus people in the offices and everything else, and just getting our own people squared away with and comfortable with the technology that we're using at home, and then making sure that all the different security protocols and all that other stuff were installed on everybody's home computers, as well as any laptops or desktops that they decided to take home. Mm-hmm. And then once we got all of those people set up, then, trying to help with, because we do this all the time. I mean, we have clients all over the place. You guys have clients all over the place. And, we do a lot of video conferencing. And so, there was a lot of different people who, really didn't know how to do it. They didn't feel really comfortable with the setups. And so I started doing, between different people within the project team, contractors, engineers and consultants and stuff, walking them through how to do a lot of the different tools to make it, work a little bit easier for them and kind of get into the swing of things. And so that was kind of like the early, week and a half, 2 weeks. And now week 3, week 4, everybody's quite in the swing of things. And, even my technology challenged wife who, she's just like, I am a hands-on teacher, and so doesn't really do a lot of like online learning or things like that in her classroom. And, she's become a pro where she, in fact, I can kind of hear her in the other room right now talking, she is creating videos for tomorrow's lessons. and she's doing everything, recording everything on her phone. Then she's going into iMovie to assemble it, edit it, and all that other stuff. Then she exports it out and loads it up into YouTube, and then does her, teaches, assigns certain things. She meets with the kids and then kind of walks through things. And then these videos are kind of, meant for reinforcement of, the lessons that she's doing online. But, she wouldn't have been able to do that, without just kind of keep trying and testing things out and slowly but surely learning them. And me helping her out, try to get things set up. I happened to notice, a chat on the Entree Architect Facebook page, and a couple of different architects who are also professors were getting ready to go back and kind of the daunting task of trying to figure out how to do their classes through, Zoom or Skype or whatever else. And so I kind of just reached out to them. I'm like, hey, I'd be more than happy to walk you through this. And so I've been doing tutorials for, different architects who are also professors, showing them how to use Zoom and do Zoom markups, and basically kind of like doing shredding online with them. And it's been kind of fun to see. I do this all the time. I'm so used to it. I'm so comfortable with it that I felt comfortable enough to basically teach people that I've never met, or any time ever. And, I'm walking them through, hopping on a video call with them, and then just walking them through tutorials on how to do, some of this stuff for their classrooms and do distance learning for their universities. And it's been kind of fun to be able to do that. It's not 3D printing face masks, but, it's helping the educational community continue to keep doing what they do, and keep the architecture community doing what they do.
That's very cool. Wow. So is she...
And I even did a couple...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and I even did a online Zoom call with Auburn University architecture students and did a couple of
that's right.
mentoring meetings.
Yeah. So obviously
we were
architectural education is happening from home too. I wonder how that's going.
Still happening from home. We hooked up with a professor, and we were, working with his studio before all of this happened, and reached out to us and said, hey, we're still teaching, and would you guys like to do maybe some one-on-one sessions with some of the students to kind of see where they've evolved? And they've, did kind of a master planning program early on to kind of get like the overall program, and then they transitioned into being assigned a particular building for each of the students. And so I just kind of did a shredding kind of session with the kid who was working on University Dining Hall.
Nice. That's cool, man. Speaking of Auburn, I guess the one of the ideas I wanted to run this by you, was to see if you wanted to do a homework session for this, and then maybe we do like a movie review for each episode. And I was thinking about doing Citizen Architect.
I will be more than happy to do that.
Wouldn't that be fun?
It would be great.
Yeah. I've got a few films that we could look at over the next few weeks, but maybe that would be the one we start with.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Maybe we can take recommendations from the listening audience to see if they have any that we haven't heard of or would look at it considering. That would be kind of cool too. So yeah, I think that, it's been a few years. I think I watched that after we went to the Atlanta AIA show, when I sat in on your alumni event that we went to. And that was a really cool experience. And then I watched Citizen Architect after that, and I felt like it's one of those moments in my life where I was like, what am I doing with my life? It was very, very surreal at that point. It was just, it really hit home, because I think that there was something so just searching for the right words, but it just really felt like it hit me in the middle of my soul, and I feel like I'd like to get a taste of that again and kind of revisit that. So maybe we can like watch it fresh and then discuss it on the next episode.
It's sort of, interestingly enough, it's sort of along the lines of what I was thinking. It was just trying to start, whether it's a Facebook page or a Twitter feed or something like that, that basically just talks about, there is enough, negativity going on right now. There's enough people that are worrying and stuff.
Yep.
It'd be kind of fun to actually talk about, like, post inspiration, even if it's just a simple photograph of like inspirational architecture, what it means to you and what why do you want to keep going back? I mean, we've gone through recessions before,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hit our particular profession pretty hard. And even the last one where it hit and a lot of people left and never came back.
Yep.
And there's, a lot of people who this may actually do the same thing.
Yep.
And if we can kind of, figure out a way to like keep their spirits up and really kind of talk about what enriches your soul.
That would be awesome. Okay, so let's do that, and let's let everybody know right now that that's what we're doing so they can watch it too. Hopefully. I don't even know where it's available, so I'm hoping that it is. I mean, just how about everybody can listen in to that episode and then give us their feedback on Twitter, or leave comments on the website. I think that would be really cool. Or live tweet your viewing experience so that, hashtag Ask Archispeak so that we can incorporate some of those comments into the episode. I think that would be really fun. Not that that really needs to be the whole episode, but maybe that's what we start out with. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yes.
And I agree with you. Like that
Yes,
really, something that to me, like I already know, I've already watched it once, so, and I know how it made me feel. And I feel like it would be one of those things that really could be kind of a positive in a lot of negatives out there. So that would be a fun thing to do. Cool, man.
So let me just throw this out here and let you guys know that if you have a subscription to Amazon Prime, it is streaming on Amazon Prime. It is called Citizen Architect Samuel Mockbee in the Spirit of the Rural Studio.
Do you want to give a little bit of a preview of, or maybe your background with Rural Studio? You have 5 minutes. This can't
5
be
minutes.
Well,
what's interesting is that Sam was one of these guys that, he started the Rural Studio to kind of get people away from, as he would call it, the bullshit of the studio and the politics that, he felt was not anything that was really a part of, he felt like there was a deeper meaning to the educational process that we just weren't getting quite out of the studio. Now, it did mean that he didn't like traditional architectural studios because he was involved with it as he was out in the rural studio, because he was also involved with the GSD and everything else. And so it wasn't like he was anti. It was just he felt like there was something more that he could do for the architecture students. And one of the interesting and great things about the rural studio is many times as if I've preached the rural studio and believe in the rural studio, it's this place that, not only are you getting a very different hands-on experience in architectural education where you're designing as well as building, but you're able to experience firsthand what it truly means to actually be a citizen architect, mm-hmm. what it truly means to be able to engage architecture in a way that, we don't normally do on a day-to-day basis. I mean, we're giving architecture to people who don't even know what an architect is, and, probably have never heard of it, or in most certainly, if they have, never felt like they would ever actually have a chance to work with an architect. And, you take all of that away and you just strip it down to the fact that, we are building these beautiful places for people so deserving of it. And just an absolute, the whole studio is just an absolute joy and a gem. The great thing about it is that it's taken hold, this concept of the design build studio has taken hold in countless different schools across the country. Mm-hmm. Got all these different ones that people do. And, it's just great to be able to have a studio that does hands-on training of all this stuff. But it's just, I preach now, because I try to hold as much. Sam wasn't just, teaching within studio, but, Sam was just teaching how to be a good human being, right, and a decent, somebody who wants to use their abilities to give back to people. And, in my own way, I try to do that all the time, whether it's through my knowledge or just hands-on showing people how to do things that I've learned how to do. Or if anybody says, hey, I'm going to do this, I will say, I know how to do it too. If you need help, let me know. and just, so it's just teaching people how to be good, decent people. And
Yep.
he kind of, it was interesting is like, I always had a soft spot for him because, he was just an amazingly genuine person. I mean, I love
authentic.
He used to have, I still have a set of documents that he brought him into a studio to kind of show everybody what a set of working documents were, and left him in there. And so we were kind of cleaning up the studio, and somebody was throwing them away, and I was like, hey, I want to hold on to these. And so I picked the garbage and took a set of them out. Of course, I'm not going to take somebody's working drawings without like letting them know that I have them. He was just like, I was like, Sam, I'm going to take these, home if you don't mind. I think that they're just as much a piece of art as they are architecture, just because they were hand drawn and they were just so beautifully organized. I mean, when I was on my own, I kind of patterned some of the way that I put my working drawings out. Now, it's not the way that we do them today, and it's certainly not the way Revit inherently does things, but it was just there was a beautiful little artistry to the story that these documents told. And so he was just like, what the hell do you want this piece of shit for? I was just like, I just want to, keep, I want to keep them. You're throwing them away. You obviously don't want them. He goes, yeah, we never built.
You just did the thing your kids did with the chair, dude.
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks.
Legacy.
Sure, bring them in. I got it. That hit hard. But
perfect.
And so I'm looking at, I was like, well, why wasn't this built? He was like, oh, they didn't have the money for it. And so what was amazing is we sat down and we were like going through his set of documents, and I was talking about him and all of this other stuff. And I'm like, why do you, I was like, I've noticed something about a lot of your entries are more of this kind of like funnel shaped, but they're actually funneled in the opposite direction that you would normally expect it. Like, normally it would be wide and then it would kind of like narrow into like the door area. And he goes, no. He goes, I want to make it, perfectly uncomfortable to squeeze my fat ass through. Because at the time he was kind of a bigger, robust fella. And so, I mean, from that point on, I was just like, there's just something kind of cool about this moment of making yourself aware of the sequence of like entering into a building. I mean, normally you never pay attention. It's the front door. You walk up your steps, you walk into the front door. You never really give two thoughts about it. Mm-hmm. He almost forces you to think about it every single time you go there. And I just thought that was so god awfully cool.
That's awesome.
So
two things. Yeah. First of all, you have to call him what you call him, not Sam.
Sambo.
Yep, Sambo. Right. So,
Sambo was, what we called him all the time, and you will hear in Citizen Architect, everybody will call him Sambo, but
So that's the nickname, but the acceptable nickname. And then the other thing you said that not everybody probably knows what it means, but GSD. What's GSD?
Graduate School of Design at Harvard.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you said that because you just say GSD, like everybody knows what that means. And that was like inside baseball right there.
Well, what's funny is that everybody who goes to the GSD automatically assumes that you know exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah, very self-important. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, that's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to watching this. So you said it's on Prime.
It's on Prime.
Maybe we'll put a link to it just so people can see what it looks like in the show notes, and then you can watch with us or watch on your own, and then we will discuss.
What's amazing about it is this is now a few years later, and a few years after Sambo's passing, and plus, by the way, that also has a handful of other movies, architecture movies. So if you go to that Prime link and you also say customers have also watched, and they've got an I Am Pei Learning from Light, they've got Rem, they've got Zaha, they've got all sorts of Arrow.
Just start with the one we say. That's all.
Oh no, we're gonna be there, but there are some great. Ooh, we're gonna watch Buckminster Fuller too, just because.
Sweet. Which one is that? Is it?
Oh,
how much does your building weigh?
I clicked off.
You lost it.
Totally lost it. It is The World of Buckminster Fuller.
Okay, cool.
I always actually, there's one that I want everybody to watch, and it's a YouTube link, and when we get to that one, we'll get to that one, because that one, it's something that it was literally the very first day of studio in my summer session. We were forced to watch this, and at the time, you watch it. It's like a 10-minute video. People were understandably looking at each other like, "Why the hell are we watching this?" And I swear, to this day, I will always refer back to it. And so I know exactly why they asked us to watch it. Whether or not we learned why at that time was, left open to interpretation. However, it has stuck with me, and I continue to use it still to this day. And in fact, actually, every time I talk to somebody about all this stuff, and they're like, "Well, what exactly do you mean by that?" I'll actually send them the link to the video, and I say, "Just watch this video." I've got the entire set of Eames movies that they created, and this is one of them. It's the only one that is, well, it's not the only one, but is the one that stuck with me for my entire career, from the day that I started architecture school to now.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
I like how you're leaving it on a cliffhanger here, so we better cut it off now.
Exactly.
To keep everybody wondering and in suspense. That'll be cool.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Cool, man. Well, okay, so homework is watch Citizen Architect, and let's get back together in a week and talk about that. It's going to be fun.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it. Cool. In fact, I'm probably going to hang up right now and go and watch it.
So, yeah, me too. Okay, so we'll talk about Citizen Architect. We'll do some work from home updates, quarantine quarantine content, and that sounds like a good show. So I like how we're planning it out in advance. It's like it's a little bit upscale for the Archispeak podcast. So everybody take note. Things are happening because we're working from home that are even better than normal.
And you will be tested on all of it.
Yes, there is a quiz. It's not ARE level, but it's just Archispeak level quiz. All right.
Yep.
Cool, man. Well,
Excellent.
I'll talk to you next time.
Yep.
See you guys.
Stay safe. Cover your mouth when you cough.
Only outline my body in Tiffany.
Oh, feeling this quad. It's fun. You there? Hello?
Oh, sorry. I accidentally hit mute. Did he happen to tell you what the alcohol content is?
Nope. He didn't.
It'd be interesting because it sounds like it's a lot.
What do you mean by that?
No insinuations at all.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah.